Hi everyone, I'm Erika and welcome to Happy to See Me, the show that puts the spotlight on the overlooked and underestimated. Today I am speaking with Miss Fiercalicious. Of course, she is not overlooked. She has definitely been underestimated and I'm excited to get into all of that with her. But first, I'd love to start the episode talking about something that I was happy to see this week. And this is actually my first episode that I am recording in 2024. So it is my first time where I can talk about the holidays, okay? So humor me as I tell you about how I was happy to see the holiday break. I went back to my parents' house in Niagara Falls. I was there for a week and I was totally babied in a nice way. And honestly, the whole break was so much fun. I got to see Magic Mike Durzo, the winner of Traitors Canada, doing a magic show in my hometown of Niagara Falls. He called me on stage and I got to do a magic trick with him. Unfortunately, I didn't get to saw him in half, so I haven't been able to avenge my own murder, but it was amazing to see him. I got to see one of my good friends from home who had been living abroad for the last few years. And we got to hang out in person for the first time in a long time and start planning trips. So I am taking some big trips this year. Finally, I haven't done big international trips since before the pandemic. Of course, I went to Fiji for Survivor, but still, I used to be huge traveler, huge adventure traveler, and I am excited and happy to see that I am getting back into that this year. And then being back in Toronto, I threw a bit of a New Year's party. So it was an amazing way to start the year. And obviously came out on social media and that got so much more love and attention than I anticipated. So thank you everybody who has been so supportive of me in that part of my life. So really what I'm happy to see is just an amazing break that has me feeling ready and energized for 2024. Because if you were listening to my intros from the end of 2023, I'm sure you could tell that I was tired. So now going into 2024, I am feeling fresh. And dare I say, maybe feeling fierce. And it is amazing that I'm speaking with Miss Fiercalicious today. A lot of folks know her from Canada's Drag Race Season 3. She was in the top 4. She went on to become a WOWY Award winner. And then we met on the Traitors Canada and we were fellow faithfuls. So we are talking about what it was like for her growing up and finding her confidence through drag and where the name Miss Fiercalicious comes from. We talk about how she was dramatic and a little villainous on Canada's Drag Race, but ultimately she found her confidence there. And then the amazing time we had filming the Traitors Canada. So I love having a friend on the show. This was fun for me to record. I hope that it's going to be fun for you to listen to. So without further ado, here is Miss Fiercalicious. I hope you enjoy it. A lot of people have been asking for you, Miss Fiercalicious. What is this about?
I can't help it that I'm popular.
Well, most people know that we were on the same show, The Traitors Canada, but people don't know that we went to the same school.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. I mean, because I kept it a secret from you on Traitors because I was like, I remember one time you, me, and Dr. Nazila were sitting down and you guys were talking about how you went to Western, and in my head I was like, I went to Western too, but I want everyone to think I'm dumb, so I'll keep it to myself.
God forbid everyone believes that you're educated.
I know, and then it'll put a target on my back, like it'll put a target on yours. I think they sent you home because you went to Western.
You know that that's not true.
It could be. Let's pull up Koozie and ask her.
You know why I got sent home. But I don't know if we're going to start there. When you were in school, I have heard from you that you were very different than you are now. So what was Fierce like when she was in school?
I mean, I was really nerdy in school. I was the top of my class. I was always so focused on my grades. I remember one time in high school, I was in AP chemistry and I got an 80 or an 85. And I was so mad. I went to night school to get a higher mark. And then I got a 95. I was just really nerdy. Then I started doing drag and I became crazy.
So is it like your obsession with your school and your nerdiness got transferred to your obsession with drag?
Yeah, wait, now that I think about it, yeah, it's very possible. Oh my god, you're like my therapist.
Oh, okay. People tell me that this tends to happen on this show where I start to ask the questions and it's like, ooh, the intense introspection.
Yeah. There with Erika.
Get ready, get ready. So then, if you were really into science and stuff, were you a performing artist when you were younger?
No, I never like did anything with the arts. I was always so nerdy, and I was like, my parents would like be like, you should do like dance or something, and I was like, no, like that's for girls.
Isn't it funny thinking about that now?
Now I'm like, I should have done dance. Like it would have helped me so much now. Like now I've been taking classes like for the past like few years since I started performing and doing drag. But I really wish I started doing them younger. Um, but no, when I was younger, I was very nerdy. I would read so many books like every day. Yeah.
So what happened? When did you become illiterate?
I can still read, but now I read bitches. I'll read you down.
I'll take it. Okay, so then how did you start doing drag?
I started drag at Western, and I just like, I saw on like social media. But you remember like back in the day when we had like Vine?
Yes, for like a
Yeah, so I think
second.
like yeah, my first like introduction to drag I think was like I remember seeing Violet Chachki's like that reveal she did. Um the like coat reveal into like the dress, whatever.
Hmm.
And I was like, whoa, what is this? And then I like started watching Drag Race and then I was like, oh my god, I feel like I could do this. Then I remember seeing Naomi Smalls, and I was like, that's someone who has like a similar skin tone to me and like a
Hmm.
similar body type. So I'm like, I feel like I could try this out for myself. And I did, and I succeeded, and then I took over the world.
So wait, when was the first time you got into drag?
I think it's been like 7 years now. It was on Halloween.
Of course.
Well, no, it wasn't on Halloween. I was entering a Halloween competition. It was like a few days before Halloween. But I was not allowed to enter the competition because I got too drunk and they didn't let me into the bar.
Which bar was it?
It was at Lavish.
Oh my gosh, I remember Lavish, the one queer bar at Western. Yeah. I heard that the name Miss Fiercalicious was a joke.
Well, it started off as a joke. Okay, so before I started doing drag, like actually doing it, I wanted to do it like years before, but I never like knew anything about makeup or actually doing drag. So I would like me and my friend would like go, those apps where you like put like makeup on yourself and like wigs.
Hmm.
I would like go on those apps and like Photoshop photos myself and like see how I would look in drag and I'd be like, oh my god, I look so cunty. So I just like called myself Miss Fiercalicious like as a joke and I was like, if I ever start doing drag, that's gonna be my name. And then I started doing it and then it was my name. And now it's iconic.
Why was it a joke? Was it just like this name is so over the top?
Because when you hear it, it's like this name is like so ridiculous. Like I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I was like, no one would actually name themselves Miss Fiercalicious except for me. But it's kind of like it's like one of those like iconic names where there's only like one person who can be named Fiercalicious, like Beyonce. Some
Hmm.
people would call me the Beyonce of drag. I guess
It's true. There's no other Fiercalicious.
that's true.
Did you always feel fierce in life?
I mean, not when I was like younger. I was when I was in like school, I would get like bullied a bit. But it's funny because like looking back, like all the things that I would get like made fun of, like all my features, like I would get fun of like for having like big lashes. Sorry, yeah, long lashes in school. People would call me a camel,
Hmm.
and they would make fun of me for like my big lips. And now all those features, like when I'm in drag, like everyone like praises me for them. So that just goes to show you when you like don't listen to people when you're younger, because as you grow older, you will grow into yourself and start loving yourself, and one day they will be jealous of you.
I love the inspiration from Miss Fiercalicious. And also, people pay good money for that. I
Yeah.
spent so much money to get long eyelashes. Okay, I wish that I had your eyelashes.
As times change, like like the trends change, and one day people will be jealous of your features as well.
One day. No,
One day we're all gonna have purple hair.
you heard it here. So, did you actually hear from any of those people once you made it as a drag queen?
Yeah, actually, like recently, my friend from middle school just got married, and then a bunch of us like went to the wedding, and it was kind of like a reunion, like a middle school reunion. It was really cute. And now everyone loves me. They're all like praising me. I'm like, I mean, they still love me in like school, but now they love me even more. And what's even funnier is like that school that I went to, right outside the school, there was a bus stop ad for Traitors.
Oh my God, that is the most amazing karma.
Yeah.
Also, if anyone is listening and they're young, Karma is real. So, like,
Yes, it
keep being
is.
you.
I know karma's real because did y'all see what happened to Kevin Martin? Mm.
Okay, we need to get into all of your reality TV, but why don't we start with Drag Race?
Okay.
So, you told me that you've auditioned for every season until you got
Mhm.
on season 3. So, what was your very first audition tape like?
So the audition process is like it's kind of different. Like you usually start off with like sending like a short introduction video and then you get a call for an interview and then if you make it through that, then you do the actual audition tape. I don't know if I should be talking about this. But anyway, so the first two times I made it to like the phone interview, but then that's the furthest I made it. And then the third time was when I actually made it past the phone interview and I got to film like the real audition tape and then I got on in my first try with my audition tape. Um, but my problem, like looking back with my first two auditions, was like I wasn't being myself. I was kind of trying to be like the perfect drag character that I thought they wanted to see.
Hmm.
But it wasn't until my third audition tape where actually Alona Burley helped me um, film the first part. She was like, she sat on like Zoom with me and like asked me the questions and I just like answered them like playfully. And then that got to like show like my personality more and just like I was just more relaxed in myself, and then that showed through to the producers, and they loved it, and they cast me.
I'm so surprised to hear that you felt like you needed to act like you had a different personality because I feel like your personality is such a reality TV
I know.
personality.
Well, I've come to realize that now, but before I was like, if I act like this, they're not gonna put me on TV.
No, in fact, they're going to put you on so many TV shows.
Yeah. But I feel like everyone like I've had friends that have asked me for like help with audition tapes, and I feel like everyone feels like they get nervous when the camera's on, and they just like they act like it's like an actual interview, and you're being like interviewed for a job, but that's really not what it is. Like the crazier you are, the better.
Yeah, that's the thing. People can really see through whether or not you are being authentic or you're trying to put on the personality for TV. And
Mm.
if you're meant to be on TV, just being you is enough.
Yeah, it's also not meant for everyone.
Oop. So I also read that you had said that going into Drag Race, you thought that you were just a social media queen and you didn't
Mhm.
realize that you were funny. So did you
Yeah.
always think that you weren't funny?
Yeah, I thought like going into it. I remember they asked me like on my confessionals the first day. They were like, "What is gonna be your weakness in the competition?" I was like, "I feel like I'm gonna be good at everything except the comedy challenges." And then like getting there, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm actually the funniest person on the planet." And then I was on top for the comedy challenge. Actually, I should have won the comedy challenge because I wrote all the jokes in my group. But that's a story for another day.
So when you were on Drag Race, was there a moment where you realized, oh my God, I'm the funniest person on the planet?
I think like on the show. I didn't think I was like that funny, but then like when I got back and like watching it back, I was like, wait, I am hilarious.
Isn't it
Like
so funny?
I know like like my personality can be funny sometimes, but like that's different from actually like writing jokes and like being a comedian because there's a lot of work that goes into comedy. There's a difference between like comedy and being a funny person. Um, and I had like help. There's like a few drag queens in Toronto who do like comedy, like Selena Gomez, not Selena, Selena, Selena Vile, Chance Showers, and Hilary Yas. There are three drag queens from Toronto. Hilary helped me with like she did like this like course during the pandemic that I took, and it was like how to write like jokes. And then Selena and Chance, not me saying Selena Vile, sorry, Selena Gomez. Erika was like, what?
I know. I'm like, you're getting help straight from the top. Okay, let's go. That's why you were telling me to buy Rare Beauty. I get it.
Yeah. So Selena and Chance helped me with my snatch game. Yeah, and they're like professional comedians. Like they've done it for like years. Like that's what they do with their drag, and it was very helpful getting their insight. They helped me a lot with the comedy challenges.
Was the comedy what surprised you the most on Drag Race?
What surprised me the most is that I'm actually good at everything. I just need to put my mind to it. I can even sew. I don't even know how to sew, but I did, and I won the ball. I mean, I know how to sew. Not very well, but I know the basics.
Well, it's like you can get the two pieces of fabric
I
together
can make a
with,
stitch.
yeah.
I can trace a pattern. I can trace a dress and then make another dress. You know, I made a dress. The first one was not the best.
But it's now iconic.
I know, it is. It's been all over the world. It's my laughter.
Well, so many of your outfits, you had said that you had conceptualized them, and I felt like they
Mhm.
were so high concept. So if your background was being, you know, this like nerdy, sciencey person, where did you get all of these creative references for your pieces?
I mean, I think I've always been like a really creative like person. Even though I was in like science and stuff, I've always been like really creative. Because when I was younger, I was in the gifted program, in school, and like we're like once a day. Well, so my first school that I went to, we would like once a week we would go to like this program and we would do like all these like it was kind of like improv stuff and like just like really creative stuff that we like fun stuff that you don't do in school the whole day. Like I remember like once we made like puppets and then we had to like make a puppet play and then we do like kind of these like improv scenes. I don't know, it was some wild stuff. But then I went in grade 7 and 8, I went to this other school where it was like the program was kind of incorporated into our whole curriculum for the week. So yeah, I've always like gotten to explore my creativity and I've always been a very creative person. And I kind of did like reference like some of my science background in my um runways. Like we had a periodic table of elements runway. So having a science background was helpful for that. And my dystopian runway, I wanted to do like an underwater sea creature because I envisioned the future where the world flooded because of climate change. And we're all living underwater and we get mutated after a nuclear disaster and we become sea creatures.
See, why become a doctor when instead you can conceptualize a dystopia?
Exactly. Funny because I actually was going to become a doctor. Watch out, Dr. Nagila. I'm going to be coming for your gig.
I know. I feel like once you finally revealed that you went to Western, you were like, just so everyone knows, I was going to become a doctor, but instead I'm a drag queen and I'm actually smart.
Yeah. Imagine if I was your doctor.
I'm trying to imagine. I think it would. I don't know what you would have been like. Okay. Here's the question. Because when I had to go see a doctor before I was on Survivor, because you do all these medical checks, she had to sign all these confidentiality forms. I'm like, ooh, how would Fierce have reacted if you're the doctor and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be on Survivor. I need all these heart tests.
I would have been on Twitter.
Yeah.
On Survivor.
And for that, I am glad that you are just the drag queen in my life.
Yeah, maybe it's for the best.
Was there anything that happened on Drag Race or anything in terms of how the show is produced that was just not what you expected?
There was that day where me and Kimmy got into that really big fight. And the way it was edited was like, we didn't actually like, we did fight, like, don't get me wrong, like, she was mad at me, and I was mad at her. But there was stuff that was left out of context. For the first part, when I asked Kimmy, I tried to go in with an open mind and say, Kimmy, let me hear your jokes. And she told me her ideas, and they were horrible. I don't even want to repeat them. They were just horrible ideas.
So you were being a good friend. You saved her.
Yeah, and I was like, when I heard that, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to have to do all the work here.
Bless Kimmy.
Love
This is
her.
why you have to work through creative ideas before they come to life.
Mm-hmm. So, and then I remember, like, there was, like, one scene where, like, it was me and Kimmy at the table, and Brad was asking us, like, how are you guys working together? And, like, when we answered that question, we were like, oh, we're working well. Like, obviously, we're lying. But the way they edited it, they were like, it was us looking back, we were like, But when they asked us that question, I think they asked us, like, who are you threatened by? Or who's your threat in this group? And we looked back being like, to see, like, who was there.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, editor's gonna edit. But for the most part, I think the show was edited very accurately from my perspective. Because everything that I remember happening got put into the show. There was a lot where I was like, oh, they're not going to put this in because I'm just, like, being annoying. And they put it on. Like, you know the part, like, where I'm, like, mad at the back of the stage?
Mm-hmm. And you're, like, pouting as you're walking off?
In that moment, I was so mad. And not mad, I was, like, upset. And I was, like, over the competition. And, like, everyone's, like, Stay true, nurse, strong, and fierce. Woo! The music play. And I was like, I'm so over this. They can edit around me. I really don't care. I'm just gonna sit here and whatever. Um, and then they ended up editing only me.
Yeah.
So.
So everyone start pouting on TV, and especially when everyone else should be smiling, and then you're gonna get screen time.
Yeah.
But this is why you have to be your authentic self on TV. It's like you don't have to change your personality.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm like that in person too. Like, if I'm angry, like, you will know I'm angry. I mean, you were there the day I went off on Kevin, but you can tell when I'm mad.
I mean, I was there when you got eliminated from the Traitors. I wasn't there, but I was like on FaceTime with you for hours as soon as you got eliminated.
Yeah, I was ranting about Kevin.
Yeah. We'll get there. Okay, because on Drag Race, you were very much, according to the show, at the center of all of the drama. Was that really what was happening?
I mean, I couldn't help that. Like, I don't start the drama. Like, it just follows me around for some reason. I'm like a magnet. I squash the drama. But everything that happened was, like, accurate. Maybe I stirred the pot, like, a little bit. But it was an accident.
And also, you appeared to be, a little villainous on Drag Race. What was it like when the show was airing and the audience is watching? Because I know that Drag Race fans are very passionate and they're very vocal online. So what was that like?
I mean, at that point, there had never been someone like me on Canada's Drag Race, at least. But, because I felt like when I watched season 2, I knew a lot of these girls and they were a lot more outspoken in person, but on the show, they were kind of, not being themselves. And I felt this season was a little boring because of that. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to change myself or censor myself. And if I feel some type of way, I'm just going to speak my truth, which is what I did. And maybe speaking my truth a couple times, got a few people upset. But so be it. Were y'all entertained? You were.
Why do you think people were trying to tame their unspokenness on
I think,
season 2?
people are just worried about, how... I mean, I know. People are just worried about how the fans are going to react online. Like, the fans will, go crazy and, send you messages. Like, for me, the first few weeks of Drag Race, I was getting death threats every single day. Every episode. I was, not even looking forward to the next episode. I wanted the season to be over so bad. Because every week, it was just death threats, online, just hate messages. And then it wasn't until the end, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden everyone's perspective of me just flipped, and everyone was living for my shenanigans. But the beginning was a rough ride, and I wish I could have foreseen how things would have been different, because then I would have enjoyed the experience more. But yeah.
I know. We all need our first experience on a reality show. And if it makes you feel better, watching Survivor was so challenging for me, even though I knew I won. And also there were also people who were in my DMs telling me to go get hit by a car. I'm like, I was a nice person on TV. Are you serious? So it happens to all of us for no reason, and everyone needs to fuck off and stop.
That's true. Stop sending hate online.
Exactly. Oh my God. And also, because I watched your season when it was airing, and then I went back and I watched some episodes before we recorded today, and it's so funny watching it now that I know you in person, because I was like, yeah, because so many people ask me, they're like, what is Fierce like in real life? Is she the same as on the show? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. But now that I know you, I realize it's you're in on the joke and nothing is serious.
Yeah. I'm very that.
Okay, so now that you've done it and you were in the top 4, would you ever go back for an all-star season?
I mean, okay, so when I first got back from Drag Race, while it was airing, I got asked that question and my answer was no. I hate this experience. Everyone is so mean to me. I don't want to deal with this. But now I'm like, yeah, if I get the call, sure, why not? I love the camera and the camera loves me.
And that's the thing. Once you've dealt with your first bout of people not liking you online for no reason, you realize, oh, nothing they say actually matters.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. The people who like you are always going to like you no matter what. They're always going to support you. And there's always going to be people who don't like you. But as RuPaul said, if they ain't paying your bills, pay them no mind.
I know. In my mind, if somebody likes me, I'm like, oh my God, they're a real person and this is a real feeling. And if they don't like me, I'm like, you're insecure and you're projecting because why would you dislike us?
That part.
Okay, so if you go back for All Stars, what
Mhm.
would you do differently?
Nothing. I think, okay.
She
I
was
had a pretty good
perfect.
run on the show. I think my issue, which kind of like, so at the beginning of the season, I like got like really in my head because I saw all these like strong competitors around me, and I was like, at first I was like, I don't know if I belong here. But then halfway through the season, I kind of like started believing in myself more, and now post show, I like know I'm like that bitch. So like if I were to go back, I just would have the confidence that I didn't have at the beginning of my first season. Because honestly, other than that, I was perfect. I really was. I was good in like most of the challenges. You know, like when you go on your first season of Drag Race and you look bad, and then some queens will come back and have a glow up. That's not possible for me because I already look perfect. Like I didn't know where the glow up was gonna come. Like all my runways were top notch, makeup stunning, hair stunning.
So then how do you get better? Is it just you come with even crazier concepts? You go beyond the end of the world fish
I,
people?
yeah, I guess now I have to become an alien or something. Extraterrestrial, go out of this world.
You know what? It's really encouraging to hear that even someone who is named Miss Fiercalicious, who defines herself by being fierce, has to have moments where she needs to find her confidence. So if
Yeah.
everybody's listening,
I'm a real person, just like all of you.
she has vulnerabilities too, people. Well, that's temporarily, because otherwise she's perfect.
Yeah.
Traitors. This is how we meet. First, why did you decide to do the Traitors?
um, so I remember like once I tweeted once like, what show should I do next? And then people were like, Big Brother, like Survivor, blah blah. And then a few people were like Traitors, and then I kind of like looked, and I didn't really look into it. I like looked it up, and I was like, oh, this show looks cool. And then I forgot about it. Then I got the call for Traitors, and they asked me if I wanted to do it, and then I looked it up, and I was like, this show is perfect for me. It's all about like betrayal, sabotage. That's exactly what I went through on Drag Race. I can use my experience and apply it, and then maybe I will be the person doing the sabotaging. Fortunately, I was not. But yeah, I was like, this is the perfect show for me. Because I also thought it would be more fun than Drag Race, because like there's, you know, like on Drag Race, you have to prepare like so much money like into your package. Whereas on this show, I can like just go in and like really just have fun and not have to worry about. I mean, if I go home, like whatever, but it's not like I can't show more runways or whatever. And there's no like, there is challenges like, but not the same as like Drag Race, where it's like I feel like the Drag Race challenges are surprisingly more stressful
Mm-hmm.
than the Traitors one. The Traitors one, I had so much fun in the missions. I love them, and I was so good at them.
I'm not surprised that the Drag Race ones were more stressful because the Drag Race ones, it's like, this is your craft, this is
Yeah,
your art. Whereas
there's more
Traitors, it's
pressure.
like, I don't know, we're just like running. Well, I guess like you were actually like truly running in the quarry. I'm just like running and like moving rocks. And they make it seem like the rocks are going to be so big. The rocks are like smaller than baseballs. So it was like quite chill, I found.
Yeah, I didn't want to do, when they asked us to do that, when they asked like to pick the teams, I was like, I'm gonna run, because I have frail, dainty arms. I don't want to be pushing rocks around. Then I saw the pile of rocks, and I was like, oh, maybe I should have done that. But if I did do that, y'all wouldn't have won the money, because I was the fastest runner on the team.
Oh my God, it was so funny. It was so, I know that it appeared really funny on TV, but honestly, like it still doesn't compare to what it looked like in real life. Like it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Just your hair just flowing straight back
Me
and
in
your
this
face
like
and you're just charging up.
in this like neon outfit in this like gloomy quarry, just like standing out, sprinting through, and it was way longer in person than what was shown on TV. On TV, it was like a few seconds, but trust me, in person, I was huffing and puffing for my life.
Also, when we did the traders, they give us this it's like a wardrobe guideline, so we have to dress like it's fall. So they're like, don't wear skirts, even though I wore a skirt, and they're like, don't wear short sleeves, and you can only wear things in like a fall color palette. And then Miss Fierce gets into the car in like this tiny neon like crop top and mini skirt.
I wore whatever I wanted. I was like, let me push my limits every day and see what I'll get away with. I literally wore whatever I wanted, and they let me get away with it. And it was funny because remember, like one time Kevin wanted to wear a cowboy hat, and they told him, you can't wear it, it's too much.
So that's too much, but your like rhinestone neon two-piece was fine.
They just let me do whatever I wanted to do.
So when you did the Traitors, when you signed up, did you think that you were going to win, or were you like, let me just go and be chaotic on another show?
I did not want to win at all. I was like, I was like, there's two scenarios. Like, I could go in and be extremely quiet, and like, I know I'm smart enough like to make it to the end. I could go in there, be extremely quiet, play the game, and then have a boring show, or I could just go in and be myself and be chaotic, stir the pot for a few episodes, and give y'all an entertaining season. And that's what I did.
Really? You didn't pick the first one?
No, trust me. If I picked the first one, it would have been snooze fest. Y'all saw what happened after I left.
Oh. Yeah, to be honest, when they called me for the show, I was like on the fence about doing this. I was like, I don't know. And I was like, who else would they call from the different Canadian shows to be on this? So for Drag Race, 100%, this is what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, they'll probably call Miss Fiercalicious, but she'll probably have something better to do, so she won't be there.
No.
Then I saw you from a distance, because everyone was like, wow, that woman is so tall. I'm like, oh, that's a drag queen. Like, I know who that is.
That's funny.
So was the stress of the Traitors different than the stress of Drag Race?
I feel like it was kind of similar, because like on both shows, I couldn't sleep at night. Also, the food was disgusting on Traitors.
Yeah, I mean, I was only ever on a show where they didn't feed you, so the fact that they fed me, I was like, oh my god, this lukewarm lasagna? Wow.
I hated the food on Traitors so much, it stressed me out even more. I feel like Drag Race was more stressful. Because on Drag Race, I would stay up I don't know, because on Drag Race, I would stay up, like, thinking about the challenges, like, all night. And then on Traitors, I'm staying up thinking about who's a traitor.
Mm-hmm.
They're both kind of stressful.
Is it different when you're on a show like the Traitors and the people who are sabotaging you are people who you think you're friends? Like, does that add a weird element of stress?
Yeah, that is more, like, it is more, because there's more of, like, not psychological. I mean, I guess psychological and, like, social aspect to the game with Traitors, because you're obviously supposed to have, like, friends, like, around you, like, and find the traitors. But you also want to keep the traitors close to you so they don't murder you. And then you're trying to, like, figure out who they are and, like, who you can trust and who you can't trust. So it just plays with your mind. I found Traitors way more intense. Sorry, now that I think about it. Because when I got back from Traitors, I was like, oh my god. That was the worst experience of my life.
I know, I remember you coming back, you're like, what the hell was that? I was like, yo, welcome to a show like this. It seemed like the audience liked you more on the Traitors. Is that what you found?
Well, I think the audience, like, now knew me already from Drag Race, so they knew what to expect. And they got what they expected. Mm-hmm. And they enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't act any different on Traitors than you did on Drag Race.
But, like, I feel like on Drag Race, like, people at first didn't understand me and, like, my personality, and then they got to understand me by the end of the show. And then now going into Traitors, they already knew me, so.
So they knew it was just going to be chaos.
Yeah.
Was there anything on Traitors that you wish was on TV? When
me and Kevin made out. I'm joking. That did not happen. I wish they showed, like, more of you and me in the first episode. Like, we became really close. You, me, and, like, Melissa having our little alliance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak too highly of ourselves, but I think if I was still in it, we would have gone all the way.
I think if the first day they killed Kevin instead of you and me would have made it all the way to the end for sure.
100%. 100%. Because I think we would have figured them out really quick.
Yeah.
And then also we operate in the house differently. Because I think I'm more like chill, and then you're more just like chaotic.
Yeah.
So I think
we can combine forces.
And then plus we had Melissa A, who's a civilian, and we call civilians like the non-reality TV people. So we had a civilian. So we actually like had good foundation. Yeah. And also we had so much fun because also, I don't know, it's like once you come back for your second show, you realize it's not that serious. So we were just doing such stupid stuff when we were there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you come back for a Traitors All-Stars?
Yeah, I would. I don't know if I would do anything differently. I think I would still have the same tactics. I don't know. It depends. Depends, like, if I want to win. If I want to win, maybe I'll be more quiet. But it also depends, like, because, like, there wasn't, like, that many loud personalities on Traitors. If there were, like, I would have, like, blended in more.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was going to be all reality people, so I was surprised to see civilians.
I was surprised to see them, too. And they were surprised to see me.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, oh, I guess Fierce does have openings in her schedule.
I mean, it was only, like, a 2 week
Yeah,
year
it was
time.
so
It wasn't, like,
short.
that long of a filming period.
Yeah, the thing is, it was like filming it was so short, and then we took the rest of the time to be like, we need to recover from that, even though I was only there for like 3 days.
You were there for a few days, and I was there, like, a week. And we spent the whole week, like, going out.
Yeah, we were like, wow, that was so hard. I was fine, like I was fine, but we were just like, that was so tough. We just need to keep going out.
And go out we did.
So then, I know you've brought him up many times. Where do
Yeah.
you stand with Kevin Martin?
I actually am not familiar with who that person is or any of his work. I just brought it up because I thought it was a funny, silly name.
That I mean, yeah, it's as unremarkable as it could be. No, bless Kevin in his own way.
No, he doesn't deserve any blessings. He actually doesn't deserve anything at all. Let me get peace and love.
So, what is the Fiercalicious dream?
I feel like I'm already living my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my goal when I was, like, first starting off drag was always like, oh my god, I want to get on Drag Race one day. And then I did, and I was like, what now? But now I've just, like, realized, like, people have come to, like, love me for my personality. So who knows? Maybe, like, one day I'll get to, like, host my own TV show or something. I don't know. I feel like the sky is the limit for me. I'm just, like, good at everything, and I can do everything. So the possibilities are endless.
And then when you think about the version of you right now versus the version of you who sent in their season 1 Drag Race audition, what do you think the biggest difference is?
Well, my drag definitely got better, but I also just learned to just be myself.
There you go, everybody. The things that you thought were weird about yourself are actually.
They make you unique. That's what you are, alien superstar.
And I know that you had said earlier that seeing someone like Naomi Smalls on TV and someone like you, who looked like you, had similar body type, similar skin type, that was something that really resonated with you. So one, it's like now you and Naomi are basically peers.
Yeah,
Is that a
actually,
trend?
okay, wait. We like, I used to like fangirl over her whenever I met her in person, and she hated me. There was like,
But this is before
okay,
you
wait.
did
Let me
Drag
tell you a
Race?
funny. This is before Drag Race. Let me tell you a funny story. Like Naomi Smalls used to hate my guts. Um, so years ago, because everyone told me I looked like Naomi Smalls. So one day I did like a Naomi Smalls look, like that, like All Stars look with like that red bra and panty harness thing. I made one in lavender. It was like very similar to hers. I didn't make it myself, obviously, but I got it made. Um, Anyways, she had a show in Toronto, and then I went to the show because like my friend was organizing it. And like it's like you should come meet Naomi. I went to meet her dressed as her and go up to her. The first thing I said to her was like, "Wow!" Like picture this, like this like busted looking baby drag queen going up to her. And I was like, "Wow!" And it's like I'm looking in a mirror, and she looked at me like. So she hated my guts, and actually she was really nice to me. She like invited me into her dressing room and she like asked me to like help her pick her songs. But then I remember, I went upstairs with her, and it was so embarrassing. Like so, I'm standing beside Naomi. Priyanka is like standing in between us, like 'cause she's about to go on. And then I go up to Naomi and I'm like, "Can I get a photo with you?" And she was like, no, not right now. Like I'm about to go on stage and blah blah. blah. And I was like. Oh, and then Priyanka's there watching, like. And then it's funny because, like, I brought this story up to Naomi now recently. She remembers it all happening. And now we, like, joke about it. And now this time she actually asked me for a photo. And then she sent it to me on Instagram after. And she was like, yeah, there's something's like changed in you. Like, you become different. I'm like, yeah, I'm a new queen.
Was the change the fact that you became a Wowie Award winner?
Oh my God, wait, actually, funny story. When I won the Wowie, it was in LA. And then I went, oh wait, that was when I first like re-met Naomi at like since Drag Race. And then she remembered me and like, we were like just like talking and like laughing the whole night. And I had my Wowie and I kept asking her for a photo with my Wowie.
See, now when fans come up to you, you have to be so nice to them because you don't know who is a future Wowie Award winner.
Yeah, exactly. That like, and that's a very prestigious award. Some would say
is.
it's more prestigious than like a Grammy.
I think so. I think that people don't need to EGOT. They just need to
A
Wowie. One single Wowie.
We got.
Yeah. So you have the W. You just need the rest. You need the ego T.
Yeah. I already have the ego, and I always spill the tea.
So you basically already we got it.
Yeah.
So do you think that you're a role model?
I guess like now I have become a role model for people. Like, people can like look and see like you can be like a queer like person of color and be like celebrated for being, you know, loud and obnoxious. But like I think people like should, because like when I was younger, I was like in like high school. I remember like people would like make fun of me sometimes for being like loud and outgoing, and people would call me like annoying. And then I remember like for years I was like the quietest person ever in school and like high school. And then it wasn't until like I went to university and then started doing drag, and then me doing drag like slowly like kind of like pushed me to like be like more in the public and like the queer community. And then people started to like just like me more for my personality in person. So that kind of just taught me to not hide this parts of myself, like stuff like that I think people are going to find annoying or whatever. And I hope that other people who are watching me can resonate with that and be like, you know what, I can be myself. If there's stuff that people don't like about me, who cares? I'm going to be happy being myself.
Everyone just be annoying.
Very that.
You're not just annoying. You're pretty too. But it sounds like it was almost like the Fiercalicious persona helped you to be your real self.
Yeah. Yeah, because like it wasn't until I started like once I started doing drag, it helped me to like be more outgoing, because I realized like, because like when you're in drag, you kind of feel like you have this like armor on you where like you're protected from the world and you can just like do whatever and everyone will love you. And then I ended up like learning like the way I am in drag, I can also like tap into that when I'm out of drag. And yeah, it's always there, honey.
Oh, so now do you think? Oh my God, I was gonna ask a Rick Campanelli question. So I'm like, are you feeling more? Do you feel like you're more Paulo or more fierce?
I feel like I'm a combination of both. When Rick said that, I was like, "Are you Paulo or fierce today?" I was like, "I'm always fierce, honey."
I think when one of the first times we hung out in Toronto, we got food and they asked you your name and you said Paulo, and I was like,
yeah, everyone calls me fierce now because I'm fierce.
I know, that's it. It's fun. Yeah, what started as what was just a ridiculous joke drag queen name.
I kind of like grew into the name. Like, you know, at first I was like, oh, Fiercalicious, like that's like a crazy name, like for someone who's not that fierce. But now I'm the most fiercest person on the planet. So.
Are you still friends with the person who came up with that name for you?
Yeah, I was like one of my friends like from Twitter from like years ago when I was like a super fan on Twitter. I used to be a Miley Cyrus super fan. Actually, like Miley Cyrus like followed me on Twitter too. And yeah, back then, when my super fan days.
Oh my God. Okay, I love that. And then now you have super fans.
Yeah.
So aside from coming back to a Drag Race All-Stars, what is the dream reality show?
I used to like really want to do Big Brother. I wanted to do that before Drag Race. I even auditioned for that like before Drag Race. But now I'm like, look at the people who got on. I can't remember. They're psychotic. To win that show, you really need to be like a really like devious, heartless, mean person. Sometimes. So I don't know, and I also don't know if I would want to live in that house for that long.
Yeah, it's hard because you're just such a pure angel. I just don't know how you'd fit in.
But other shows like, oh my god, wait, I would really want to do Squid Games. I don't think I would
Oh,
win.
like the Squid Game challenge?
Yeah, that would be fun. I don't
Hmm.
know how well I would do in that. I'd probably get like, oh my god, I heard like that the first the running challenge. So they filmed that for like 8 hours.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That when they froze, they had to freeze for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, so now I'm like, I don't know if I would be able to do that.
Hmm.
But I was good in the challenges on Traitors, so maybe I would be good in those challenges as well. Would I be good on Survivor?
Uh, I don't know if that's the one for you.
I don't think I would survive. I think I would ask to leave the island after 2 days
Hmm.
when I realized there is no microwave oven.
Yeah, it's like you have to survive and you have to play the devious game too.
Yeah. I mean, being divas is like not that hard, but
Hmm.
having to, kill a crab with my own hands, I don't know if I can
I know.
do all that.
I remember after you came off of the Traitors, you were like, I didn't understand why they eliminated Erika. All she did was just forage for food.
I had no idea what Survivor was. I was like, why does everyone think Erica's such a big threat? Like, she literally just ran in the forest for a month. Like, what? and then I watched her, like, videos from Survivor, and I was like, um... it's more intense than Big Brother.
Take that, Kevin Martin.
Yeah.
I am not involved in the Kevin Martin beef, by the way.
Yeah, she is. She started it.
It was me who told Kevin to turn against you from beyond the traitor's grave. If people want to follow you and keep up with you and hope that we'll see you somewhere on TV again, where can they do that?
You can find me on Twitter. Okay, wait, let me spell Fiercalicious because it's kind of hard to spell. Some people spell it wrong. Fiercalicious. I might have spelled it wrong. Fiercalicious. No, I think I spelled it right. So my Twitter is at Fiercalicious. It's award winning.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, Miss Fiercalicious. TikTok, Miss Fiercalicious. Pinterest, don't follow me there. It's private. It's for my private thoughts. And yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, and if we ever see you on TV again, can you make me a promise that you go 3 for 3 and get another Filipino bestie?
if there is another Filipino castmate, for sure.
That's it. You have to just beeline. We're friends.
Come to the first Filipino. Like, let's say I do like UK versus the world or something. Marina Summers, we're besties. I mean, me and Marina Summers are already besties.
Okay, there you go. That's the other thing people don't realize. Fierce and the Filipino community.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fierce, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Miss Fiercalicious, for being on the show. And now I answer an audience question, and it's fitting that this week people were so curious when it comes to my style. So the question I'm answering this week is, what do you look for when you are thrifting clothes? So I love vintage clothes. I love thrifting clothes. I love finding secondhand clothes. For me, I love it because you can find something that's really unique. So when I'm out shopping, I normally look for things that are either a unique shape, a unique color, or a unique pattern. And by a unique shape, I mean, is there something that has, I don't know, interesting shoulders, a ruffle? There might be something structurally that's really interesting about it. And then when I look for patterns, I try to find something that's interesting, but something that is not necessarily tied to a pattern that is trendy right now, because we know that fashion is cyclical, patterns tend to cycle in and out. So I try to find something that I know I would want to wear years from now. And I do have a lot of vintage clothes and thrifted clothes that I've been wearing for so long. So those are some of the things that I look for. I also like to look for things that can be worn in different scenarios, things that can be dressed up and down. So I have this rainbow colored short sleeve and midi skirt matching set, and worn together, it's something that I wear to a wedding, or worn separately, I could wear the skirt at an event, I could wear the shirt with jeans and it's more casual. I have a lot of thrifted button-up shirts, and with those I always look for interesting embroidery, interesting design, interesting patterns. And I don't mind if things are a bit wide or a bit loose. And with those, I love them because they're so versatile. So I can wear them buttoned up with black pants, and then they work for businessy type settings, even though I'm not really in a lot of super businessy settings, or if I am, it's okay for me to dress a bit more eccentric and eclectic. They work when I wear jeans, and they can be more casual, and they even work if I wear them unbuttoned with a tank top underneath and a jean, so then it's extremely casual. I also, of course, look for things like making sure the buttons work, making sure the zippers work. And in terms of fit, I make sure that things either fit me at some type of proportion. So perhaps they fit around the waist, they fit around the shoulder, they fit comfortably maybe around the hips. I make sure that nothing is ever a squeeze to get into, because I find that older clothes tend to not be as stretchy as newer clothes. And then if I like something and one of the proportions is off, I also am so open to getting it tailored. Of course, that's a bit more of an investment in a piece, but then if it's something that I think is unique, since it's older, it's usually more well made, and it's something that will then be tailored and fit me perfectly, then I know that it's something that I can keep for a long time. So I've bought things that I've of course had to hem because I'm petite, but then I also have some things where I've had to make other alterations. So if I found a coat or a jacket that's vintage that I really like, I'll get the shoulders taken in. I could get the arm shortened. Sometimes I get things taken in at the hip, depending on the style. So I'm also open to tailoring things to make sure that I am getting the perfect item for me. So yeah, essentially I am looking for things in good condition that have some type of unique and interesting element that I think I can wear in many contexts, and then something that I don't mind having to tailor a little bit. But thank you for that question. And honestly, thank you to everybody who has been so interested in my style. I am now exploring whether or not I should do a personal style type episode where I bring somebody in and we can talk about building your personal style. So if you have any style questions, let me know in the comments. Until then, if you haven't already, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast wherever you get your podcast. We are on Instagram and on YouTube. It's at Happy to See Me Pod. And until then, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be happy to see you next Monday.